Hey, I want to touch on something. Going back to his father, LeBron
Mhm.
Senior, right? And I'm gonna bring up Mike to make the point,
Mhm.
of what I want to make about him. But recently, there has come out a report saying, really taking a dump on Michael Jordan's '88 Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if you've seen it. Are you familiar with this?
No.
So they've come out and they said that it was all stat padded, and Mike didn't deserve to be Defensive Player of the Year. Now,
Stat
this is
padded in the 80s.
yes, and it comes from an interview with a guy who was responsible for keeping records of stats and stuff from that time
Oh, okay,
frame.
okay, okay.
And they're using that interview, of course. Okay, I'll tell you what it is, and then I'll connect it to LeBron where I'm going with this. But anyway, what it is they're saying that back in the day, the home team, the star of the home team, got the benefit on certain plays where there were potentially discrepancies on. So
Mm.
Michael was averaging 3 point something steals per game on the road. At home, he was averaging 5 point something steals per game. So, example being, if Mike pokes the ball out and Horace Grant picks up the ball, Mike would get credit for the steal for poking. If Horace Grant poked the ball out and Mike recovered the ball, Mike would get
Still for
credit
him.
for the steal in the same scenario because it was tradition at the time to give the home team star player credit for it at home. So he was able to rack up a few extra steals, and they saying that's how he ended up with such a high average of 4 point something steals per
You know
game,
what?
which contributed to him being defensive player of the year.
Even
But
go ahead.
3 point something is a lot of steals in the NBA. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Either way,
let alone the
either
4 or
way.
5. Yeah. And the 3 was honest because that's on the road. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I say all that to connect it back to LeBron and say, I know this is LeBron fans who like to bring Mike down to lift LeBron up and
Brought up.
stuff. And it's really unnecessary because a lot of us, whatever side of the argument we on, we feel how we feel. It doesn't change to me how great of a defensive player Mike was, in my opinion, even if you threw him a couple extra because you couldn't have threw it to him if he wasn't involved in the play.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
too
is
hard.
what it is with that. Now, here's where I said all that to bring this compliment to LeBron. Me being somebody on the side of the argument that Mike is greater than LeBron, greater, and that's not getting into who's better or whatever else, just greater. To bring this connection, this analogy here, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather. Ali's considered greater. Floyd Mayweather, probably a better technical boxer. He did
Mhm.
everything right technically, undefeated. Muhammad Ali still greater because greatness is graded on what your performance is, the eye test, who we believe you to be as a man, and just how we feel about you as a man. A
Mhm.
lot of that is compiled into greatness. So I think Mike's greater. But LeBron James, regardless of greatness, I think if you just look at his career versus any other athlete in the world as a story, just LeBron's career as a
Oh yeah,
story,
way better story.
greatest story of all time in all of sports.
Yeah,
To me, my opinion.
yeah,
I don't think there's a story that comes close to it as a story.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
my pat on the back to him. He came out of high school as this guy in high school, Slam magazine cover. He's already better than all stars in the NBA. We've been hearing about him since middle school. It's big hype for this kid. ESPN coming to his games, airing him on ESPN. And then he gets drafted number 1. He got Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade in the draft with him. He still ends up being rookie of the year throughout that time. He takes this nothing franchise, not to mention he gets drafted to the team in the state he grew up in. Now this whole state's on his back. He dealt with all of this pressure, came out his first game, put up almost a triple-double, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
20-some points, 9 assists, and so many rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, great performance. Went on to just continue to have this exciting story. He takes his team to the finals, comes across defeat against this team that's about to be this franchise. It's going to be this
Yeah,
this dynasty in the making.
see,
He
yeah.
faces this dynasty in the making. Touches defeat. Our hero loses. This is a great story that's being built. Tries again, goes up against this gargantuan Boston team. Well, not to mention spanks Detroit in the midst of it in one of the most
Yeah.
incredible moments we've seen in sports. Then goes up against his Boston team. They're too much for him. You know, they defeat him. His teammates is hitting his mom's behind the scenes. It's just stress going on. Boom. We have the what is it? The decision comes, goes to Miami, takes this fairly new franchise in the history of the league, teams up, makes the greatest team we ever seen of all time. Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, goes to the finals again. Tastes defeat after we thought it was going to be not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. This is all entertaining television as a story.
We were locked in too.
Our hero tastes defeat, but Miami is popping. It's on fire right now as a city. Then all of a sudden, on fire. Music-wise, everything, the culture, everything. It's a vibe in Miami. Goes back to back. Taste victory this time. Our champion has finally won our hero in the story finally won a championship at this point in time.
About damn time.
Does it again, back to back. Now, 4th season, we going for a three-peat now. Taste defeat again. You know what I mean? In a very intriguing storyline. Turns around, says, look, man, I owe Cleveland this, man. I'm going back. Brings this bum city up from the trenches.
Back up again.
Goes to war with a titan in the West that's being built out there. His new rivalry and stuff. Tastes defeat a bunch of times, but he gets someone in the mix. You know what I'm saying? He out. He like, hey, look, I'm about to go to one of the greatest franchise of all time because I want my name next to Jabbar and Johnson. And I want my name next to O'Neal and Bryant out there in the rafters, next to West, the logo. Goes out there, you know, the world gets shut down, everything. We all just sitting around at home watching the bubble from our TVs. Sneak someone in there. People don't respect it, but he still got it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Along the way. Breaks a few more records and stuff. Starts building up all his different companies. He's got television production companies and he's doing movies and stuff behind the scene. Yeah. He's killing it. Not to mention nepotism at its finest. I put my homies on. Now my homie from high school got the biggest sports management company there is. He a king out here. Everything go through him. This is a fantastic story. Now we're at a point in the story. He said, hey, you know, my son, he's grown now. You know, I want to play with him too. And it happens. First of all time to do this. Beautiful story. There's not a story in sports like it, man. And I know I left out some
not even just the NBA, not even just the NBA, but sports. In its totality.
Did all of this. You know, single mom, little young kid from Akron, Ohio, from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And he made it all happen. All he got is a high school degree, but he looking like a genius out here. You know what I mean? Like, hey, great stuff, man, as a story. He overachieved 10 times over. He was never supposed to go that far.
Yeah.
What high school player did? I love Sean Kemp. He didn't do it. I love KG. Not this type of story. I love Kobe.
Not this story,
but this story different. You know, it's a little different.
Yeah. So honestly, like, greatest story. Not the greatest, in my opinion, but like you said, greatest story. Even at Muhammad Ali fashion, you got MJ with the 6 finals wins and 0 losses. Got Floyd Mayweather with the 50 wins, 0 losses. But then you got the Muhammad Ali who took what? 5 on his record? 5
or 6 losses, man. Yeah, he took some L's.
but still considered to be the greatest.
We love to watch a story. We like to see people lose, get up, rise back to the top of the mountain and win. That's when the tears come in the movie, is when you see him overcome that. This was a Rocky story multiple times over. And he's tasted way more defeat than victory, but at the same time, he kept going back to the mountaintop, man, you know, which is something to be said for.
Yeah. So, applause, where's the applause button again? That's an applause. And when it's all said and done, when he truly hands off the keys to his son and say, hey, this is yours now. Now you go. This is really like watching a movie. Like you said, this is really watching a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hat goes off to him, man. Hat goes off to him.